Daily Mission Control. Today is going to be a great day. Yesterday I got some good progress made on the electrical stuff I can do that I could still do my testing while I waited for the silicone to dry. We are going to be testing test number 2, the water retention and static structure test today for the reservoir and the base. So let's go out and test. Before we go out, let me show you the electronics that I was doing yesterday. Here I got the base all set up on the work table. Man, having that stuff up off the floor is nice. You can see I got the LED lights installed on both sides. And then because I didn't get my engraving done, I had to use the good old P-Touch machine there and put my markers on, but you can see we have the LED power is in. And then check out this wiring. I really like these plugs. Look how nice that is. It just wires through. So nice. Then we're going through router and then back to the main panel here, and then the holes were off for the relay board, but I got those re-drilled and put up there. No more metal to metal contact, which I think was causing a problem that we had before. And then the real-time clock will go here, the Raspberry Pi will go there, and we got all that wiring to do. But we're going to stop here, move the base out, and do our test. I really like how much lighter they are. Well, it is a beautiful day here. Great day for a successful test, I would say, because that's what we need today. So we move on. Boy, this welding plastic stuff is nice, but welding any tank is hard. Well, you can weld it, but making it watertight. There we go. Reservoir's in. We have our mark. The wheels are locked. Okay, we'll turn the drains out so they're pointed the right direction. This is the primary supply, and then here, that's the actual main drain, so we'll close that bad boy off. All right, here we go. Oh Lord, let this work. Valves are closed. Seals seem to be holding on those. So we made it to right here last time. We got to make it up to here. That's the fill line. Set this in there, and I'll start watching down below. Okay, the report so far is positive, as in I don't see any leaks coming from there. We just had a drip of water come from, it looks like it's the gasket around the drain, which I merely hand tightened. I did not machine tighten. I didn't use any tools, so that is probably that issue there. So far, doing better than before. Still looking good. About a minute into the test here, and we only have that drip coming from around that the main drain gasket, which was just hand tightened. About a third of the way full. We'll have 460 pounds, roughly 53 gallons of water, I think is what it is, going from memory there, so don't quote me specifically. It is looking much better than last time. At 1/3 full here, it's now made its way up to the primary level, so now the entire bottom will be feeling weight. We are on a slight, I'd say 5-degree slope going down, so we are getting some extra weight down here, which is fine. It's not gonna hurt anything, nor is it gonna devalue the test. Check it. So far, so good. About halfway full and doing great. We only have the one drip from around the gasket still, which is just needing to be tightened with some tools. There is a 1/2-inch gap between the front power supply board, electronics board assembly, and the tank, which is fine. And the tank is now sitting on its support cross member, which was by design. So right back here, there's a cross member for the tank to rest on a little bit to help. We are gonna have an interference issue, it looks like, with the relay board. There's only about 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 to 1/2 inch in between the rear electronics board and the tank, which has bowed a little bit out, which is not unexpected. That's not a bad thing. It just bowed, just scared me to death. Just bowed out a little bit on the sides, but we're looking great on everything else. We've got about another inch or so to go. It is reached the side panels here. What just happened is it shifted, so it bowed in. Now it it popped and bowed out, which is as expected. It's now hitting these side panels, which have no structural support on the outside. This is a worst case situation. Oh boy, what we got there? We're about 1/2 inch away from full. No, I'm sorry, about 1 inch. I'm gonna stand back. We could have a failure here. We still only have the 1 leak. It's just a very short drip. You hear sounds, it makes you get a little crazy, a little concerned. We definitely have stress against the outside here, but nothing too bad. This one, it's on the downhill side. It's receiving more stress, so it has bowed out a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch. There, same on the other side, is bowed slightly. We just reached the back mark. Since it is on a slope, I'll give it a little extra water there, and then we're gonna let it sit. About 1/2 inch overfilled. Okay, so where we're at in the test is as follows. We have a slight slope, 5 degrees roughly down this way. I have overfilled to compensate for that, so we have pretty much the same water as what we'd have if it were on flat. We have a single drip coming from a hand tightened gasket in the back, which just needs to be further tightened, and that will stop. I want to say maybe a 1/4 inch deflection on this side, and maybe even a 1/2 inch deflection. Maybe, no, I'd say 1/4 inch as well, which is very acceptable. On this side, what happened here is the tank is pushing out into this bracket here, support structure, and it bowed it out a little bit as the tank has bowed out. So the wheels appear to be holding fine. I don't see any deformation in the wheels at all. They're holding their weight. Each one can hold like 100 pounds or 150 pounds, so I think we're good there. We do have a slight bow in, no, that's actually not, no, that's just thermal. That was from welding, or from heating. Boy, what else? Do I see anything else? So yeah, we have a bow in the middle here, which you would expect. It's acceptable. Well, let's go get the lid and we'll put that on. You can definitely see it when you walk. I'll get you guys a view here. Once we put this on, it should highlight it. Oh yeah, it shifted. Shifted where the lid doesn't want to go on. There we go. It's in. But here you'll be able to see, I'll show you guys the deflection. Kind of get down below here, you can see a little bit of water dripping off of that elbow there. That's easy fix. Here's a problem though. There's supposed to be more gap back there. These electronics are fine here, and the Raspberry Pi would probably fit in there, but it's going to be way too tight, and that means cooling specifically of those electronics is not going to occur, and physically the relay will not work back there. So we're going to have to do a new plan there. Here you can see the slight bowing deflection there. It's really not bad. Try to get you, you can look down straight here, kind of see it's about 1/4 of an inch deflection. Not horrible, and certainly the plastic panels will meet it. At the top, however, you can see it's almost 1/2 inch of deflection at the top, and that does mess with the lid's fit. And here, almost 3/4 of an inch deflection there. And then this side you can see it's deflected. But everything else looks good. We do have rotation here. This one post right there is kind of kicking out a little bit. Its support bracket on top has bowed out. I will say that when you have the extra paneling on there, it will help support that, but still it's something I need to think about. Well, everything is holding in here nicely right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to induce some shock into the system. Found some more deflection here. The end panels have bowed out a little bit, and the reason they did that is because there's not a bracket tying them together on the face here. Even though there's 3 brackets on it, it's allowing it to kick out this way. Had the plastic paneling been on here, that would not be occurring because the paneling is part of the structural solution. So that's not good. That's actually bad. What this means is that eventually this thing could just go like that and split apart. So we are still going to introduce some shock though. What we're doing, just simulating someone accidentally hitting it, bumping it. This is roughly 2.5, 3 pounds. With force, it's probably at 5. I'm just rotating it slightly, dropping it down. So it's holding. Right down here is an example. So this thing is actually starting to angle. Instead of being straight, it's now angling a little bit because it's pulling apart at the bottom here. There are 3 brackets at this corner, 1, 2, 3, but there's not one on the bottom. It is where the hole for the wheel goes, but we are going to have to reinforce that. That's not an acceptable deflection, and that will lead to failure over time. So that does have to be fixed. Just thinking here. He's a crazy chicken. He's a crazy kitty. You checking out the test? Well, the good news is these new brackets work really well. Actually, the good news is nothing's failed. What we have are potential failure methods that need to be addressed, cat that loves attention, and a beautiful day. So let's let it sit here for a while, see what happens.